beginning of a much-needed reconciliation process between the Afghan people and veterans, and we've taken it upon ourselves to take those steps and really begin a healing process between both sides.
Leading a march of over 10,000 people, Afghans for Peace, and members of the Afghanistan Veterans Against the War Committee and Iraq Veterans Against the War led a march to the NATO summit. And at that summit, we performed acts of reconciliation, and after this, over 40 veterans stood up and spoke to why they were returning their service medals. Each of them providing a little glimpse into their realities and their memories and their experiences.
My name is Iris Feliciano. I served in the Marine Corps, and in January of 2002, I deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. And I want to tell the folks behind us in these enclosed walls where they build more policies based on lies and fear that we no longer stand for them. We no longer stand for their lies, their failed policies, and these unjust wars. Bring our troops home and end the war now. They can have these back.
My name's Maggie Martin. I was a sergeant in the Army. I did 2 tours in Iraq. No amount of medals, ribbons, or flags can cover the amount of human suffering caused by these wars. We don't want this garbage. We want our human rights. We want our right to heal.
My name is Aaron Hughes. I served in the Illinois Army National Guard from 2000 to 2006. This medal right here is for Anthony Wagner. He died last year. This medal right here is for the 1/3 of the women in the military that are sexually assaulted by their peers. We talk about standing up for our sisters. We talk about standing up for our sisters in Afghanistan. We can't even take care of our sisters here. And this medal right here is because I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all of you. I'm sorry.
But even more profoundly than that was this moment, and all the service members had returned our medals. There was a moment for silence and the words of the Afghan people to be heard through a poem. And I think that was a moment that brought everyone to tears and was the beginning of a movement and a moment of reconciliation that I hope will spark the birth of a new movement.
You want to understand how 1,000 times over isn't enough? 30 more years of gripping skin, decades of choked pain that drains the color from the flesh, that torments the mind and eats through the nerves. Do you want to understand how it feels when your mother is raped with bullets and your father's every cell locked in steel? Do you? Huh? Do you? How every dream for peace and return is slashed with the rail of the branches burn? How every morning prayer is split into 77 consecutive funerals in my mana, but not before every corpse is dragged on the back of a bunker of a pickup truck to the governor of Kandahar, because bunker buster bombs beheaded the orphans in Nangarhar, because the drill of rocket attacks launched from Bagram left a permanent drum in Oriona's bleeding ear, and she can't fall asleep at night without the lulling of a tomcat's drone. She can't make it in the day if her cries aren't met with roadside roar. You want to know, do you, that even the wind has a color in Afghanistan? The color of soot-covered rose, the color of soot-covered rose. Because the earth has no stomach to house casualties of war. Yes, we will love you, even when 1,600-pound bombs are deployed to break our backs. We will love you, even when you insult us by desecrating our dead. We will love you. We will love my tax dollar-funded green, blue, brown, hazel, foreign-eyed, occupied, khaki camel invading, extraterritorial, ultra-element, gung-ho, war-mongering, Bible-muttering, Afghan blood on your hands, U.S. NATO-led and lost soldier. We will love you. Because love, not hatred, is the irrepressible spring that outlasts occupation. Oh, you want to understand? Do you, Mr. and Mrs. Dispatcher? We are living, breathing dead. will carpet bomb us into submission. The U.S. and NATO war of liberation is no more liberated than our dead is no more liberated than our last breath.
For the Afghans, I think it's important for us to look at it from their perspective as well, and also just being able to speak with them, all that sorrow, frustration, anger, hatred, fear that we felt. We've been able to also release it and also share the pain that we've both felt.
The Afghan flag remains up to be a symbol of returning Afghanistan's sovereignty. All we have is this flag, but not our sovereign land. I'd like to direct my message to the NATO representatives here in Chicago today. For what you've done to my home country, I'm enraged. For what you've done to my people, I'm disgusted. For what you've done to these veterans, I'm heartbroken. I come from a family with a military background, so I sympathize with their disappointment and being failed by the system and having their lives, their morals, and their humanity toyed with, used, and discarded.
Now we're getting more Afghan voices being heard, whereas before you don't really see that too often. And not just Afghan voices, but like Afghan voices and veteran voices side by side talking about what this means to us and what message we want to give to our leaders, our community, and the NATO representatives who are in Chicago.
We understand as Iraq Veterans Against the War that the individuals that are most impacted by this war in Afghanistan is the individuals that are in Afghanistan, the civilians that are struggling through this occupation on a daily basis. Following in their example of reconciliation and love and forgiveness, and is one that I think we're trying to learn from, and one that we're trying to
grow from it.
Grow
too.
from,
yeah.
And build a movement with.
So I'm glad that we have made this connection and are working together, and hope to continue working with Iraq Veterans Against the War and the Afghanistan Veterans Committee, and continue to build that movement. I think it's really important.